Habits and processes that move your life forward. A step-by-step guide to building systems that actually work. These videos are a collaboration. Sourena, who has cerebral palsy, develops the written material and I present it on camera.
You need a system for success.
Sourena and Chris here with another mindset video.
How to improve them.
And how to improve them.
Take it away, Chris.
Take it away, I will. I want to tell you a quick story about Sourena. When Sourena was in college, a single autobiographical essay that he wrote ignited something in. He hadn't really done much writing. He wrote this one essay, and that created his dream. That he had a dream now to write a book. But he had no idea how. It's different to write an essay than go write a whole book. He had no idea where to start, how his handicap would affect it, like anything that. But a screenwriter changed everything with one sentence. And he said, just get your stories on the computer, that's it. And that simple process became the foundation of everything Sourena has created since. The process is eerily similar. Every time Sourena writes a book, he just starts getting ideas and he puts the stories into the computer. That's it. Now, there's more steps than that before it actually becomes a book, but it really is just as simple as that, right? He found the right process, and the right process changes everything. So today, I'm going to walk you through exactly how Sourena built his habits and processes and ways you can then apply to build your habits and your processes to move your life forward. And stay with me, because one of these sections is going to hit you just a little bit differently. We're all living on autopilot. The brain is wired for efficiency, right? It wants to be as efficient as possible, especially with habits and routines, so it can save its energy for actual complex decisions. And that is brilliant engineering. But here's the catch. The same system that makes you efficient can also lock in bad habits without you even being aware. Our brains were designed for survival, not to thrive in the 21st century, right? Not in today's modern, crazy world that we live in. So if you want a better life, you have to override that autopilot, manually and intentionally. But the good news is, you can. One of Sourena's favorite quotes by James Clear is, we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. So what Sourena wants you to do this week is identify one habit that you have that's been running on autopilot, and then look at that habit. Is it serving you or is it holding you back? Every goal has a recipe, right? Think of the most skilled chef that you know. Mine happens to be my brother-in-law, Rob. He's a great chef. But they don't throw ingredients in a pan and hope for the best, right? They follow a recipe, the right ingredients in the right amounts, the right sequence, the right timing. And that creates a dining masterpiece. Well, your goals work the same way, right? If you want to lose weight, build a business, improve your marriage, each of those things needs to have a process if you're going to do it effectively, right? Many people know the destination, what they want, but they don't know the process on how to get there. So what Sourena wants you to do this week is write down an important goal, right? Your most important goal, the one that means the most to you, and then list 3 to 5 small, specific actions that you know, if you take consistently, would make that goal inevitable. James Clear's habit loop, it's something that is highly effective that Sourena uses, that he wants you to use, and that is cue, craving, response, reward. Think about your phone for a minute. The cue is your phone buzzes, right? An alert goes off. And then you have this craving. You feel the urge to pull it out of your pocket. And then you have your response, which is you actually pick it up, you open it, and you check it. And the reward is you feel satisfied, right? And that loop runs on repeat, right? Hundreds of times per day. The good news is you can engineer this loop intentionally, right? You want to rebuild a habit? Place your book on your pillow. You want to work out consistently? Prepare your gym clothes the night before. Make the cue unavoidable, right? And the response frictionless. The easier you make it, the less you have to rely on motivation and willpower, because those are diminishing resources. But follow the cue, craving, response, and reward when you want to create a new habit. So what Sourena wants you to do is choose one habit that you want to build. Design the cue and make the first step as easy as possible. If you enjoy this content, make sure that you download Sourena's ebook, 5 Keys to an Amazing Mindset, by clicking on the link in the description. And also, please like, comment, and share. Your life is interconnected. We do not live in silos. We have all these different aspects to our life that bleed into each other, right? If you have financial stress, it's going to affect the way you perform at work. If you have relationship stress, that's going to drain your focus, right? All those things are interconnected. Think about a time in your life recently where one aspect of your life had some challenges and how it affected your performance in all the other areas, right? For example, your health. If your health is suffering, you're not going to be good at anything else. So all of these things need to be addressed. Now, the inverse is equally true, which is great. Positive habits in one area will elevate all those other areas, all those other silos, right? An improvement in finance will improve your health, improve your relationships. A better relationship will help you perform better at work or improve your ability to deal with your health. All those things are interactive and can be in a good way. So think about if you could improve one area, how it would bleed positively into the other areas. So one thing Sourena wants you to do this week is think about an area of your life that you can improve by 10%. And if you did that, what ripple effect would it have in all those other areas? Focus is a choice that you make every single day. Your true priorities aren't what you say they are. It's what you actually do. It's where you put your time, your focus, your energy, your money, right? Those are your real priorities. You can say they're one thing, but those things will indicate what your real priorities are. So focus means deliberately channeling your resources toward things that move you forward, right? Woody Allen once said that 90% of life is just showing up. Well, Sourena would add to that and say, yeah, showing up fully. Not just physically being there and mentally somewhere else. It means 100% of you is 100% present and immersed in where you need to be. You know, whether that's a dinner, whether that's a meeting, a meaningful conversation, time with your children, you need to be all in. Be fully present, right? So Sourena wants you to look at your calendar from the past 2 weeks. Does where your time actually went reflect your real priorities? The ecosystem of decisions. Every single day you make hundreds of decisions, whether you realize it or not. They're small, but they all compound and they take you somewhere, right? 2 people go to the gym, right? First step, 90% is showing up, right? One shows up at 90% and goes through the motions and just kind of does the same old thing. The other does what Sourena suggests and shows up at 100%, fully engaged both physically and mentally. They push, they work hard, completely different trajectory. One gets the results they're looking for, one doesn't. You know, 2 parents with children. One is fully immersed, fully paying attention, fully engaged, focusing on that connection. The other is partially engaged. One is going to have a much better success as a parent, right? Again, same situation, same timing, but one is 100% shown up and they're going to get better results because the quality of your life is reflected by the quality of your decisions, right? Not the dramatic ones, not just these little quiet ones, the repeated ones that happen all day long, right? So what Sourena wants you to do is, what's one small decision that you make daily that if you changed could significantly shift your life over the course of the next year? What discipline actually means, right? Discipline isn't a personality trait, it's a practice. It means placing your long-term goals above your short-term comfort every single time, right? The tough conversation, the early morning workout, the book instead of scrolling on social media, right? None of it feels natural in the moment. It's not giving us that instantaneous gratification, right? But the paradox is this: what hurts in the short term almost always helps in the long run. Okay? What hurts in the short term, that sacrifice, almost always benefits us in the long run, right? The easy path keeps you comfortable, stuck. And by the way, secure, right? There's something to be said about that, but it's never going to take us toward our goals. It's the harder path that helps you build the life that you really want. So what Sourena wants you to do is identify one area where you've been choosing immediate comfort over long-term growth. And what would it look like if you chose differently this week? So 3 things to take away from today. 1, examine your habits and processes. If it's not moving you forward, you got to change that habit. Look at your inputs, not just your circumstances, right? Examine your habits and processes. Then 2, build a recipe for your goals. Don't just know where you want to end up. Know exactly what it takes to get there. And then 3, show up fully every single day. Not halfway, not distracted, not focusing on other things, being present, be all in. If today's video gave you something useful, drop a comment below. Let us know which section really hit home and why it hit home. And if you know someone who's running through life with the wrong habits, share this with them. It might be exactly what they need to break that habit loop and create some amazing success. We'll see you in the next one.